Hello, welcome to Reaction Shots for March? Marpril. This week we're talking about best baddies. We got a lot of really good comments. And we're going to go through them all. But first, what have you liked lately?
Castlevania.
Yeah, I'm
Check
3
out our-
episodes away
Nice.
from the end.
Check out our spoiler mode for $1.
Yeah, you just got to be a patron at all, and then
Yeah.
you can watch those spoily modes.
Yep. So yeah, you can check out some of our thoughts on that.
Who was that? You,
Me,
Brad,
and
Damiani?
yeah, and we all liked it quite a bit.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. I'm wondering, definitely 3 episodes away from the end, feels like things need to ramp up, and they need to ramp up quickly.
See, I loved the slow pace.
I mean, I like the slow burn, but to me, it's like, okay, but what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And how long do I have to wait for the next season where lots of things are going to happen? Apparently. You know, it's one of those.
Yeah.
I also saw Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Ooh, you saw it finally. Nice.
Yeah, and I loved it.
Yeah, I bet.
It
Amazing.
was so good.
I am so bummed that I have not seen it, Ian.
Oh, it's incredible. And you like romantic movies.
I do.
You would love it. It's still in theaters.
I know. I'm trying to go. It's just we went to a movie last time and it was not that. It was Invisible. It was Invisible Man.
Which I hear is good.
Really, really good.
Really, really good?
Like one of the best.
One of the best.
It's
movies of all time?
No, one of the best like horror movies in a while for sure. And like
Sure.
not even a horror movie, but tell me more about Lady on Fire.
It's really good. Slow burn. Just really well shot, and the pacing is interesting and stuff. It's funny, a friend of mine didn't like it. He thought it was boring. But I wonder, because he's not interested in women, if that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, just no shared experience with this movie. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that's a thing, but that was something I wondered. But yeah, but I really, really liked it. I kind of hesitate to say too much. 'Cause
Yeah, for sure.
it's a movie that isn't really about, like, the story isn't what makes it, you know.
I'm there to watch them
Yeah.
fall in love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or out of love or whatever the hell.
Whatever, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm a little nervous about it.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
You gotta watch it.
Sure.
But yeah, I feel like there was something else I watched that I liked, but The Freaking Outsider. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Finished that.
Nice. Same.
Oh my goodness.
2 episodes too long. Do you concur or no?
Maybe 1.
Okay, 1.
But I was never bored. Oops.
Yeah, totally.
I was never bored.
Totally.
And I can't think, like, a lot of times in these HBO series, there's the one episode where you're like, that episode could have gone, like, or Netflix especially. It's like, those 3 episodes didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
But, like, this one, I can't remember a standout episode as being, like, a bad episode.
Yeah.
So
Retroactively, I wish they hadn't have shown the like mysterious shadow in the beginning. You know, you kind of like, I'm not going to get into too many spoilers here, but like,
yeah.
it kind of shows something early on.
Yeah, it's
and
like first or second episode, you know, like, okay, there's more to it.
And it's like, because Ben Mendelsohn the whole time was grappling with like, well, does it not? It's like, if the audience was doubting it with him, I think
it's a tough, and it's really hard because I feel like we've already done a disservice by tipping that there's more going on than just a murder. But like, I guess the advertising campaign for this already kind of, you know.
Yeah.
But I was actually talking
marketed like a horror thing.
Yeah. I was talking about this with Sophia, and it's tough because it's like introducing the supernatural element is hard in a thing like this, because either you go with dramatic irony where we know that it's true and stuff, and so that we're waiting for the characters to catch up, or you run the risk of us disbelieving the ending by being like, what? That came out of left field, you know? But it's
balance.
like, it's a hard balance to strike. And I think they did a pretty good job skirting the line for most of it.
Sure.
They definitely went with the first tactic, though, where we were like, oh, there's something else going on here, maybe. But what I liked about it was, like, the first 4 or 5 episodes, you know, we were kind of just like, how supernatural is this going to go? Like, is this just... Yeah, so it's cool.
Definitely.
I liked it all in all. I thought it was really good.
You should watch Invisible Man.
Yeah?
It is.
I had the
Can't miss.
I had the
Can't miss it, dude. Can't miss this.
I had the way he turns invisible spoiled for me.
It's fine.
Yeah?
Doesn't matter.
Was that you who spoiled it? Maybe
No.
somebody else told me. They were like, it happens like right away.
They've shown it in the trailers and stuff.
Oh, they explain how it works.
Yeah.
That seems so weird to me, but like, okay.
Yeah.
I know how it ends too, but sort of. But
dude.
I mean, yeah, just bare minimum.
It's extremely good. And
But
there's
how
not
many
too
jump
many
scares?
jump scares. There's really not. There's like, do you want me to tell you when one of them is?
I mean,
the setting?
The thing is, like, I know it's just a dude, and like a dude isn't that scary. If it's like ghosts and demons, then I'm like, oh
Exactly.
god. But if it's just a dude, it's
Yeah.
like whatever. You're just a dude.
Yeah.
Which
first
Should
horror,
be the other way around of what I'm actually scared of, because like real life killers are actually scary and ghosts aren't real. So it's it's like irrational. I know, but
yes, Beth is the same exact way.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's weird. The human
Yeah.
mind.
Right? Like killers should be way more intense.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like I'm afraid of ghosties. Because you know you can't beat them. There's no way to beat them.
Ghosts,
Yeah,
you have to like penetrate their feelings.
yeah.
Very emotional.
Got to get some kind of like ritual going.
Some
yeah.
bent neck lady vibes,
Oh
Ian.
my god, the bent neck lady, dude! Don't even talk to me about the bent neck lady.
But I highly recommend Invisible Man, and you highly recommend Portrait of Lady on Fire. So two phenomenal films in the theater.
Yeah.
See one or the other or both.
We've got to subscribe to that Alamo Draft
Yeah.
House subscription service now. Big boat, bigger boat, biggest boat. We are in the biggest boat because we're in LA.
Yeah.
It's an interesting notion that their subscription service for Alamo Draft House, just based on the size of the city you live in.
Yeah.
You know, it's
That
like,
is crazy.
but it makes sense. You know, but
Yeah.
but I've never seen anyone do it like that.
Yeah.
You know, where so it's like if you live next to an Alamo in like, you know, wherever small town. I mean, I guess they're all in like fairly large cities, but yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, anything else you liked recently? I'm trying to think of what else.
McMillions was pretty good. The
I watched
documentary.
the first three of it.
It's only three more, man. You're almost there.
I feel like that story could have easily been told in an hour and a half or 2 hours.
It could have been 4 episodes instead of 6. Yeah.
Could have been 2 instead of 6.
I love the
I
intricacy,
mean, I like
though.
it. I like it.
And
I was enjoying it.
I will say by the end, it could have been shorter, but at least by the end, you're like, okay, at least it was like building to something, and now we're kind of getting some like payoffs
Okay.
throughout because it's like really focusing on specific things.
Yeah, I gotta finish it.
Yeah.
I gotta finish it.
So it's good.
Yeah, but The Outsider and Castlevania though, don't skip them.
Don't skip.
Don't skip them. And Watchmen. If you haven't watched the Watchmen
Yeah.
show,
Lindelof.
Lindelof.
You hear what he said about it?
What?
You're gonna enjoy this
Uh-huh.
because I feel like
I
feel like we've turned a page.
I've turned a page on Lindelof. I actually went through and I watched all of Leftovers.
Yes, dude.
Well, I skipped season 1.
That's fine.
I'd seen like the first half and I
Yeah.
hated it.
Yeah.
And then season 2 I liked, and season 3 was okay.
Okay. I love season 3. I thought the finale was next level.
The finale was nice. Like the very, very end was
Yeah.
nice. I thought that was one where I thought they spent a little too much time into like,
Sure.
kind of like, ooh, what?
For sure.
I don't want to say too much, but
He said he's not doing Watchmen season 2
Yeah.
because he has no ideas.
yeah.
He's like, yeah, I don't have an idea.
Yeah, he was like, I said what I wanted to say. And
Good on
what
you.
blows my mind is HBO was like, hey, this was really good. Let's do more. And he was like, no. And
Yeah.
then they were like, okay, we won't do it then.
So cool.
And it was just like, oh, all right.
Protect it.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
That's what I want everything to be.
Yeah.
It's funny. Now I would prefer everything to be a 1-season limited run than multiple seasons. Like if a show like Dark on Netflix, right? We were watching season 1 way back in the day, didn't know much about it, expecting it all to wrap up for whatever reason. I don't know why. And then when it became clear that it was going to be ongoing, I was like disappointed.
Yeah.
I was like, I want things to just be done.
Same.
Yeah. I don't want to have to wait for stuff because it's like,
There's so much now. It's
yeah, it's like, yeah.
I feel like it's a whole like maybe next reaction shots or something we can talk about at the end. But I like just the other day now, I had the feeling of like I think we finally gone over the hill where there is just too much, where it's like annoying how many things there are. And I
You just
think
have to choose.
Yeah, I think of something that just came out like Hunters on Amazon, which is like this big budget flagship show for them. Al Pacino, like $100 million thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen billboards for that.
Came and went.
I have no interest.
Just came and went.
Yeah.
And it's just like the quality and the craft and the budget and everything is so huge. You know,
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
years ago, this would have been like
yeah.
a landmark event. And
Yeah.
now it's just like, nope, moving on.
Similar thing happened to another little anime or Amazon series called Patriot.
I had
flew
dinner.
so under the radar.
I had dinner last night with Beth and her friends that are getting married, and her friend's fiance goes, "Yeah, have you ever seen Patriot?"
Yeah,
It's like one of my favorites. And I freaked out. I was like, my friend has been trying to get me to watch this for like 5 years.
legitimately.
Yeah.
Like, when did it come out?
Yeah.
I think it has been 5 years.
Yeah.
It's a slow burn, but you like those.
I do.
Give it a shot.
But now there's too much.
No, there's not.
so
But here's the thing: there's a lot, but there's still only like 4 good things. You know?
I like too much.
Yeah.
I like too many things.
Too much. Anyway,
Is
we
that Dave
got.
Matthews?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
is.
I only do Dave Matthews for the memes. I guess I don't hate Dave Matthews like everyone does, but I don't like it.
I had a Dave Matthews phase.
Yeah?
Confessions.
I definitely owned a Dave Matthews CD when I was a teenager.
I've been to like
That red and blue
6
one.
live shows.
Whoa!
Yeah, I was like,
you like Dave Matthews.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
you'll catch no shade from me.
not-
I mean, whatever. I don't care.
Not as much anymore. Like a couple years ago, my friend had tickets to a show, and we went. We hadn't been in years, and we both, as we were leaving, were like, I think we've grown out of this.
I think I've done with Dave
was it.
Matthews now.
Yeah, just a
Well, that's
couple year period where I was
that's
so
an
into it.
important life lesson.
Yeah.
Thing to learn, you know.
Yeah.
There comes a time in everyone's life. Yeah. All right, let's jump into this because we got a lot of comments, and I'm probably just gonna read most of them because they were interesting and fun. So yeah, this episode, if I don't screw up putting it up, it's Friday the 13th right now. Apologies to the early access people that you did not get early access this time because we are shooting it. It's like 5 p.m. on a Thursday right now. So I just have to cut it and put it up tonight, and it goes up tomorrow. I'll find some way to make it up to you. Don't let me forget the shout outs at the end either. In fact, you know what? Shout out!
Shout out.
Dennis, Greg, the Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb, Togi Crawford, Will Schmuck, and Mr. One Luigi. Shout
out.
I have a tendency to forget that in this show, so I did it right now.
Nice. We'll double down at
We'll
the
double
end.
down, hopefully,
Yeah.
unless I actually forget it again.
Yeah.
All right, so this time we're talking about best baddies, the villains, monsters, humanoids, and everything in between in movies. We're going to talk about people's
Excellent.
favorites. We're going to talk about what makes a great villain.
Hell yeah.
We're going to talk about villains that you kind of agree with.
Next time, I want to have an entire episode on the T-1000.
He comes up.
I'm sure he's going to.
Oh, yeah, he comes up. All right. Favorite movie villain. How should we do this? I'll just read through stuff, and if you want to jump in, jump in.
Let's do it.
Or if I want to jump in, I'll jump in. Project DAD says Darth Vader is my all-time favorite. Heath Ledger's Joker is a quintessential baddie for Batman, but one gave me the worst heebie-jeebies, and that was Dolores Umbridge, because her evilness is not supernatural, but very real.
Yeah.
She's very frustrating for me.
Very, very frustrating character.
One of those characters where it's like, oh. Yeah. And I guess that means they're a success,
Very.
because it's just like, oh, you're just so gross.
Anytime someone is so gross with their ideals and they're on
Yeah.
their high horse and
Yeah.
they think like they're doing it right and everyone else is wrong, though the villains you cannot get through to them,
Yeah.
those are always, hard, frustrating.
John Johnson, Hans Gruber, hands down.
Number one,
Yeah,
probably right.
Probably up there. We can try to rank him at the end.
That's gonna
But
be a
he's
tough one.
He's
to
up
beat.
there, yeah. Tough to the current leader. He's the real reason Die Hard became a franchise. John McClane is great, but he's only as good as the villain that opposes him. Hans Gruber lifts a pretty generic 80s action movie into a cultural phenomenon. There is a reason no other Die Hard compares to the first. Also, shout out to Alan Rickman in Prince of Thieves as Sheriff of Nottingham. The only reason to watch that great movie is his performance.
Hell yeah. Good shout out.
Because it'll hurt more, you twit. Why a spoon, cousin? I always liked that other guy too, his cousin.
Yeah.
The bad guy from The Crow, I think. Dude, The Crow. It was like giant mountain of cocaine in The Crow, right? Remember that?
It's been a while since I watched The
Freaky
Crow.
girlfriend?
I've been meaning to rewatch The Crow, actually.
Yeah, I did rewatch it. Probably like still 10 years ago, but ooh. Pop quiz: who directed The Crow and Dark City and I, Robot?
Oh, that's Andrew. No,
Close.
And he did Knowing. Dominic? No, that's
Alex
Proyas. Yeah, damn it.
I think that's his name.
Yeah. Knowing.
Dude. Knowing. Who?
Need to read Roger Ebert's review of Knowing
Roger
right
Ebert,
now.
Yeah,
Pause,
Roger
read
Ebert
that review.
loves Knowing. Didn't he?
It's one of my favorite reviews ever. It shows to me, it speaks to how mood-based reviews can be.
Yeah.
And he totally came out one time and said there was a huge chunk of his life when he was really mad, and he gave a lot of movies bad reviews because he was really mad at that point in his life.
Yeah.
He was in a good mood when he watched Knowing.
He was in a real good mood when he watched. Here's the thing with Knowing.
Love it.
I like that movie. Yeah. It's dumb and bad, but I really like it.
Any movie that has a shot that's just ingrained into my brain forever, that to me gives it a pass. In the forest, the turning around and the light.
Yeah.
That's ingrained forever.
Doesn't that movie have one of those shots where he's looks out the window and there's somebody in the yard too?
I only remember the shot in the woods.
Let's watch Knowing, dude.
I'm down.
I
want to watch it again.
Let's do a commentary track on Knowing.
So in.
Tokyo Slim also agrees. Hans Gruber. Ian Barker says Golem, to which Alexander Zirianov claps back. Interesting. I'd never considered Golem as a villain. Sure, he pursues his own agenda and he will hurt others for personal gain, but in my mind, he's more like a wild animal that protects his hunting trophy. I think he's both. I think he features or he functions as a foil
and a villain. He's the antagonist to our hero Frodo.
Yeah.
Total
and his
villain.
motivations are nice and interesting, but does not get redeemed.
Totally.
Almost does, but does not.
Unintentionally redeems.
Well, yeah. He's the one, pretty much. The
same thing with Darth Vader, Ian. I know,
he's gonna come up.
Anakin, he's a hero, and it's Darth Vader specifically to me is a villain that gets redeemed. So.
And then George Lucas crapped all over that with the special release by making Hayden Christensen Ghost at the end of Jedi, Return of the Jedi, because it negates his deathbed repentance, man. Ugh, so annoying. Star Wars has always been bad.
Star Wars is frustrating.
2 out of 11 movies are good. 3. I like Solo, actually.
I really like Phantom Menace, dude. I refuse to back down.
Pod racing.
I love Jar Jar Binks. I love pod racing. I love Darth Maul. I love Qui-Gon Jinn. Love that movie.
Some good stuff in there, yeah.
I love it, Ian. Shit.
You know what?
Damn it.
I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. Varun Kachwaha says, has to be Roy Batty in Blade Runner for me. For a film to be able to transform the perceptions you had of a character is a difficult task on its own. For it to change your perception about the entire film is legendary.
Yeah.
Speaking, of course, about how, and I'm shortening these a little bit just for time, but yeah, because you totally think he's this bad guy, and then he ends up being, as Varun says, more human than the main character. I assert that Deckard is the bad guy of that movie. He's the villain. That's one of the things I love about the Blade Runner movies, 1 and 2, is they're about these main characters who are either wrong or unimportant.
Yeah.
And that's something super interesting to do for a movie.
Dude. Talking about it now, Ian, just gave me the feeling of Blade Runner, the mood.
Yes, dude, yeah.
Such a good mood. One of a kind. One of a kind.
I honestly think the mood is what makes those 2 movies such lasting classics, Because Blade Runner 1, by today's standards, someone who'd never seen them before I could not blame them.
Slow.
But if they watched it and were just oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that movie, but
Yeah, totally.
I actually prefer 2049, I think.
Oh.
2049 is a masterpiece to me.
Agree.
I love that movie.
I agree.
Joseph Caruso, my favorite movie villain is easily T-1000.
T-1000.
It's truly a formidable foe because it's virtually unstoppable. It's cold, calculating, doesn't feel any pity or remorse, yet can appear and act like a regular person.
Yeah, it's all about its moveset.
That part,
The
most unsettling part of T-1000 to me is when he kills the mom with the milk jug through her head or whatever.
She's
is
on
on
the
the
phone
phone.
as the
Yeah,
mom, and then it's
yeah.
the dad. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I thought it was.
The dad's
Oh, and
there.
the dad's drinking the
Yeah,
milk? Okay,
yeah.
and he's the mom.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But that's unsettling, man.
Very.
That's unsettling stuff.
It is.
Woo.
The dog. What's the name of your dog? How's Ralphie? Ralphie's fine, honey. Where are you? Your foster parents are dead.
Your foster parents are dead.
So intense. I just want to watch Terminator 2 every day.
Let's watch Terminator 2, dude.
I know.
Let's do a commentary track for Terminator 2. Colt Smith, I have two favorite villains. First is General Kale from Willow. Shout out to Willow, dude.
I don't
What a pull.
remember the villain.
Well, he's incredibly mysterious and menacing and has that makes him doubly scary, and he has a crazy design. Look at that cool mask and armor and wicked sword. The second, of course, is Predator. I mean, how great is it to show how cool a group of dudes are and how invincible they are in combat, and then just kill them one by one?
Yeah. Dude, for real, Predator, man.
Predator's
No
up there.
quarrel.
Predator's up there.
No quarrel, Predator. Leave me alone.
If you, what is it? If you don't have a weapon, or if you prove yourself a
Yeah.
good warrior, Predator like respects you in the
So
other movies.
sick.
So weird.
What do you think the future holds for Predator, Ian? What do you think?
Oh boy.
What do you think?
Because they keep trying.
And then the Disney bought it or whatever. It's part of that whole Disney Fox thing.
It's part of Fox, yeah.
So where do you think it goes next? And when does it reveal itself again?
Honestly, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like, it seems like because they've kept trying it, and none of those have been
Yeah.
like Predators didn't do hot.
I
The
like
Predator-
Predators.
I like Predators.
And
I
the-
rewatched it. Doesn't hold up as well as the first time when I saw it.
Got it.
Definitely a little bit of its time, but I haven't even seen the Predator, the new one.
It was weird.
Yeah.
So weird. So weird.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't great.
No. It's not the worst thing ever, but it kind of is.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, it's weird because like all the press leading up to that movie was like how like it was that dude
Shane Black.
Shane Black's like brother or like friend or something who had like
Yeah.
a shady past
Oh, I don't.
and like I don't remember
Yeah,
the
I
full
don't remember.
details, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. There was like
and
some
it was,
drama
like,
on set for
that
sure.
was
Yeah.
that was like
For
the only
sure.
thing I was hearing about this movie, and I was like, okay,
sure.
well if no one's talking about the actual movie, then it
Yeah.
must not even be worth
Totally.
talking about. Katie Garza says my favorite movie villain would have to be Lord Voldemort. I love the way the films tell the story of Tom Riddle. I think his actions are reprehensible, and I never agree with his actions. However, as someone who personally cares a great deal about people's mental health, it's easy to see how Tom got to the point that he did. He was abandoned as a child and made to feel like an outcast, unworthy of love. Regardless of that, he got into Hogwarts, and Dumbledore tried to take him under his wing, but the trauma took its toll, and I sympathize with that trauma. On a fun, less serious note, I've always loved Freddy Krueger. His crass jokes are terrible, but I laugh every time. So good.
Yeah.
One of the first movies they saw and catalyst for a love affair with horror films.
Anytime a main villain of a franchise is phenomenal or like the main threat or has the most lasting staying power, I really respect that because like so many times the supporting villains are more interesting
Yeah.
or you care about them more and it's like, you know, the big bads like the Emperor and
Yeah.
Voldemort and Sauron to a degree, like it's cool.
Yeah, especially if you do it right.
Mhm.
Excuse me, goodness. Voldemort has a mostly cool arc where it's a return to power kind of a thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, kind of in the shadows for the first few movies,
Mm-hmm.
gaining prominence in the latter movies.
Yeah. It's cool.
Also, yeah, on the Freddy Krueger note, Freddy Krueger might be one of the most, as a kid, that was maybe the idea of, like, best horror idea. Like, making you afraid of going to sleep, something that a lot of people have trouble doing anyway,
Genius.
is next level wickedness.
Like as good as the monster in the closet.
yeah.
It's like even better.
yeah. Yeah. It's
You
like,
know?
oh, you finally fell asleep? Well, guess what? That's when he can get you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man. Isaac Swanson says the Thing is definitely one of the most terrifying villains, silently taking the crew out while hiding in plain sight, letting paranoia and fear control the survivors. Also, shout out Joker, Batman Mask, the Phantasm. Mark Hamill gives his best performance of the character, and the ending showdown well, spoilers.
Yeah.
But yes,
For Mask of the
I
Phantasm?
love. Yeah,
Joker's laugh in the finale in
Yeah?
Mask of the Phantasm
I have
is
seen Mask of the Phantasm, but it's been since I was a kid, so I don't remember it at all. I gotta rewatch it.
really good laugh.
I gotta rewatch that one.
Yeah. I have the Blu-ray if you would like to borrow
You
it.
got the Blu-rays
I
of
do.
it? Okay.
And Batman Beyond.
Ooh, the whole show?
Yep.
Wow.
Thanks, Beth.
Thanks, Beth. Shout out to Beth. Would you kindly says, growing up as a kid, my appreciation for... oh, wait, also The Thing, though.
Yeah,
The show. The Thing.
The Thing!
We got sidetracked.
What did I just watch when I was like, oh, they're watching The Thing the whole time? Was it The Lodge?
Oh, yeah.
The Lodge, yeah.
Was that? Yeah, they kept, like, cutting to it.
Yeah.
Didn't you say they were, like, full, like, minute long, just, like,
Yeah.
they're showing The Thing?
Yeah.
It's just like, what?
Or like they're having a conversation, but you hear in the background like Kurt Russell just like, get away from there! Just like so loud.
The Thing is, yeah, unparalleled. I love The Thing.
Yep.
Similar to T-1000 vibes, where it's like, you never know who it could be, you know?
Yeah.
Ugh, so good. I love The Thing.
Same.
That's a movie, that's got like Resident Evil vibes, dude. Just like good
Yes.
vibes.
Yes. It's next level. It's untouchable.
Untouchable. Like a damn near perfect film, that
Yep.
that remake.
Like there's
Before the second remake, because
there's-
The Thing is actually a remake, but
oh yeah.
from like the 50s or whatever.
There's like different categories I feel like of untouchable movies, and that is just like in the top like
Yeah.
with Terminator 2, you know?
Yeah.
Just a couple of those.
Alien.
Yeah. Just a couple legendary movies that refuse to age. They refuse to go away from the public conscious. Like, unreal.
Is so good. All right, anyway, whatever. Sorry. Would you kindly? Growing up as a kid, my appreciation for villains came with Bond films. I also bonded with my mom, rest in peace. Oh, sorry to hear about that. Over these, who owned a VHS collection with the 007 spine art. From Goldfinger, Blofeld, Scaramanga, Lashif to Dr. No, these were educated and cultured textbook villains with an appetite to see the world burn. Surely exaggerated and caricatural, but those are the best.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, there's something special. Talking about vibes, there's something special about a good Bond villain.
Yes. Dr. No, Goldfinger for sure come to mind.
Yeah.
But Trevelyan, obviously. 006.
Yeah, that's from
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Just my fave.
Yeah,
You know, ex-agent.
it's a good
best
hook. It's a good
buds,
idea.
Like,
Yeah, it's a
betrayal.
great idea. Thought he was dead, right?
Yeah.
From the beginning. Yeah. Ugh, I gotta rewatch GoldenEye.
GoldenEye holds up.
Really?
Yeah. Franklin James. I mean, obviously Bond movies age weird with the tech, but it's also kind of part of the charm where it's like, all right, this movie's in the 90s or whatever, so
The tech and how overtly sexist. Those are the two things that age a Bond movie, I think.
hey, Xena, badass in
The one
GoldenEye.
who strangles people with their
Yes.
thighs. Yeah,
Yes. So good. Just that like grimy pilot guy that she seduces and just like, "Grah!"
Yeah.
Love it.
I think my mom had misgivings about letting me watch that because she was like, I think she was nervous about letting me see something where like a woman was using sex as a weapon or whatever. She thought that would like have a weird influence on me,
Yeah.
maybe. When I was like 12 or whenever that movie came
Thoughtful.
out. Morgan Mahala, love this one. Sir Patrick Stewart's character Darcy from Green Room. You've seen Green Room.
With you. We saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I love this
Yes,
movie.
yes.
This movie is hardcore. He remains calm, methodical, manipulative, and calculating, a terrible villain who made me more uneasy than any monster ever could, because chances are there are real-life people like Darcy out there. For sure there are. Yeah, Green Room, next level stuff. Darcy plays the leader of Darcy is, I guess, played by Patrick Stewart, is like the leader of like a neo-Nazi group that this punk band runs afoul of, and then things go from there.
That's Solner, right?
Yeah, the Blue Ruin guy.
Yeah, he just did something recently, I feel like, but I didn't
He
see
did the what is it called? The Wild, there's something about like wolves in Alaska for Netflix.
That's
I never
right.
saw
like
that
In
one.
the Dark, maybe
Yeah,
he did.
something like that.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Same.
And he's probably got another project going. I don't know. Hopefully.
It's good movies. Good movie, Ian.
Bummer about Anton Yelchin. though.
Dude, I know.
Such a bummer. Andrew Burt, says, for me, it would have to be Love from Blade Runner 2049. Her fight scene with Kay is one of the most immaculately lit and shot scenes of all time. Emphasis, Andrews.
The audio in
agree.
the theater during that scene. Are you kidding me? With the waves crashing everywhere.
I told you that when that movie started up, I almost started weeping just because the shot and the synths. I was just like, it's like a wall of synth.
Just so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good, Ian.
Oh man, I love this one. Antilles says, favorite villain, Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. He's basically how Lando's role could have gone in Empire. Plus, I love that plastic head thing. I also love that plastic head thing.
Is this
you like Fifth Element?
Fifth Element, yeah.
It's from Fifth
Element. Oh, hell yeah.
Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Oh, God.
It's time for a rewatch.
Dude, let's watch Fifth Element.
So many good movies.
Stephen Beaumont says, my favorite villain, aside from the obvious picks that come to mind first, is Vidal from Pan's Labyrinth. He's so insanely sinister, the bottle scene, and so uncompromising, the stitching, and at the end he realizes how terrible he's been because of spoilers. But yeah, dude, that guy is
10 out of 10 pick. I'll clap for that, honestly.
Yeah.
Great poll, great pick. Guillermo's best
Hardcore.
villain, hands down. 10 out of freaking 10.
For sure. Well, because I'm thinking through the Guillermo villains, and he's like the only one that's like a person, right?
Yeah. Basically.
Kinda?
I mean, yeah.
Sort of. Well, I mean, except for Shape of Water.
And like Kronos, technically.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I haven't seen Kronos.
It's definitely worth a watch.
Let's watch Kronos.
Dude, it's so good. I brought it because Brad loves vampires, so I remember watching Kronos for the first time, and I legit drove to his house with the DVD and was like, watch this, I'm leaving. Watch it right now. He was like, he did. He was like, dude, awesome.
Psycho.
Yeah.
Jason Wojnar says, I think Colonel Kurtz from Apocalypse Now is the best movie villain ever. Brando's performance is haunting, gives me chills as I type this and think about what he did in his enigmatic ramblings. Even though he has so little screen time and the movies are a bit obscure by the end, his motives, are a bit obscure by the end, he sticks in one's mind forever, perhaps because of how the different conclusions and messages one can draw from his story. Also, Frank Booth from Blue Velvet gets an honorable mention. Dennis Hopper puts the performance of a lifetime in that role. Two great calls.
Yeah.
Also, two very similar kind of like crazed madmen. Man, Apocalypse Now is such a good movie.
I know.
So is Blue Velvet.
Ian, I watched Apocalypse Now one time in college, and it was like that perfect experience where it was just perfection from second one to the end. When it was over, it was like I just went through something.
Yeah.
And haven't watched it since because it's like I don't want to mess with that.
Oh, that's funny.
But it's like I should just rewatch it. Oh, it's so good.
There's a part in film school also. Yeah, I was steeped in Apocalypse Now for a hot minute. Like we watched it in class. We watched Redux, I think, the recut, and then we also watched Hearts of Darkness, which is the documentary that I believe who is it? Is it Coppola's wife or something at the time made? So. Yeah, everything about that. Ugh. What a wacky movie. Eric Sayer says, my favorite kind of movie villain is the kind that's magnetic, almost charismatic, but also mostly terrifying. The best example of this in recent years is Hans Landa from Inglourious Bastards. Waltz is just the perfect movie villain. Special shout out to Philip Seymour Hoffman's Owen Davian in Mission Impossible 3, a great villain, and the best reason to watch that movie for sure.
I'm going to find her. I'm going to hurt her. Creep. 10 out of 10.
Find her. That what I love about him in that. Well, Philip Seymour Hoffman just like so good at that usually, but like makes it like it never sounds like it's something he wants to do.
Yeah,
he's just gonna do it because it's what he's got to do. You know, it's like that sick weird logic.
Oh,
so good.
Dude, and when Philip Seymour Hoffman is Tom Cruise playing Philip Seymour Hoffman, like when he gets the disguise and Philip Seymour Hoffman is like pretending to be Tom Cruise. Oh, it's so good.
It's really good. Carl Williams says Michael Corleone.
Yep.
Corleone? I don't remember. It's been so long
Corleone.
since I've seen Godfather. There are so many layers to Michael. Someone who was aware of his family's business, but initially tried not to get involved. But as the same old story goes, it was his destiny to be head of the family after his father. The rest is good, but it gets a little spoilery. So if you haven't seen Godfather, check him out. Pretty epic stuff.
Dude, yes, please.
Yeah.
The Godfather is the only thing I feel like that's like the Beatles when it's just been so overhyped for before you were even born.
Yeah.
It's just been 3 decades of hype for these where it's just feels like it's expected.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like dismissed in a way.
It's almost to the level of Citizen Kane, where it's like, because you've seen everything that's aped from Citizen Kane, that watching Citizen Kane is like kind of whatever.
Yeah.
In today's era. But yeah, Godfather holds up, I'd say. I don't think I ever saw 3, though.
3's good.
Yeah?
If 1 and 2 are a 10, 3 is an 8.5.
Okay.
Honestly, 3 got better, I think, over time.
Okay.
3's solid.
Noise.
Yeah.
Zach Wojnar, 2 Wojnars.
Yes.
Huh. Favorite villain? I want to spotlight the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World.
Don's pumped.
Don is pumped. There's a lot of hate directed towards JW, but the I-Rex is a straight-up slasher movie villain. It's like a Frankenstein story, since the I-Rex is a monster in the shape of a dinosaur genetically engineered to be a perfect killer, a mix between a T-Rex, a xenomorph, and Jason Voorhees.
For sure.
As for a human villain, I have to shout out Jonathan Pryce as Elliot Carver in Tomorrow Never Dies, which was their first 007 movie.
Wow.
I don't remember that one.
I remember it was all about technology in that one, right?
I love Jonathan Pryce.
Yeah. Jonathan Pryce in Ronin, though, even better.
Ronin with De Niro?
Yeah.
Pryce is in that?
Yes.
I used to love that movie as a kid.
Yes,
Love that movie. I don't remember Jonathan Pryce in it. Who is he? Is he the bad guy?
Spoilers.
Oh.
Damn it.
I remember Kelly MacDonald is in that, right?
Yeah.
Love her.
Yes.
She's the best.
Yes.
Oh, wait, no, is that her?
I think so.
No, it's that. Maybe it's that other lady. Whatever.
I can see her.
The
I don't know if
female lead
that
in that
is
is
Kelly
really
MacDonald.
good. Yeah. Whatever. Ronan's great. Great car chase. I wonder if that movie holds up.
Watched it a few years ago, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like 5 years ago.
Dude,
I
let's watch
watched it.
Ronan.
Dude, commentary track on it.
Commentary track on Ronan.
Maybe just a commentary track on the car chase? That'd actually be kind of sick.
Yeah. Silent Consonant says, not a movie villain, but shout out to Hank Scorpio from The Simpsons.
I don't even know.
He's
this.
basically a Bond villain.
Okay.
He's like making fun of Bond villains.
Nice.
It's really, really funny. Like Homer works for him, I think, and he's just like doing Bond villain stuff in the background always, but he's super nice to Homer.
Yeah.
Hank Scorpio rules.
Nice.
It's when they move to a different town and everything's like perfect. Oh, is that the episode that has one of my favorite Simpson bits of all time? I think it is. Marge has nothing to do because the house like cleans itself because it's all high tech, and so she pours herself a glass of wine and sips it, and then it does like an orchestral like horror hit when she takes the drink. It's like dun 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 or whatever, and then she pours it again and it does it again. It's really good. I think that's that episode.
Love The Simpsons.
All right. So that was everybody's fave villains. Now, then I asked what makes a good villain.
Got it.
And everyone kind of was circling this similar stuff. So I'll probably shorten these answers just a little bit. But Jesse Blue says, a monologue. The best villains have a great monologue, am I right? But seriously, though, other than psycho horror, slasher horror like Friday the 13th or Halloween, where fear of death is the driving factor, and you can't logic your way into or out of battles of wits with the baddie, the best villains are the ones you can relate to and think, if you were in the shoes of the protagonist, you would do this or that to defeat X. Or conversely, if you were in the baddie's shoes, you would do this or that to defeat the protagonists. David says, a great villain to me is just a great character, but in the context of being a monster in a socialized or supernatural sense. For reference, I wrote an entire essay in college on horror films in relation to the Greek concept of catharsis, highlighting monsters as a focus. A term I came up with was the wounded monster, which is a monster we empathize with, but watch spiral out of control despite seeing their humanity within them, like Frankenstein's monster. Tetsuo from Akira has one of my favorite examples of this idea. I also love when the horror to it is mysterious, like the woman in Audition. No spoilers. I like that concept, too.
Yeah.
Project DID says, depends on the movie. Often a good hero makes the villain. What point is there to be a villain if nobody can stop you? Shown quite well in Megamind. And Tilly's says, being believable. Even if their logic is flawed, I need to understand where they're coming from. Nothing is worse than being someone being evil for evil's sake, and nobody actually sees themselves as a villain. The only other truly acceptable option for this is to be unknowable or unthinking, like Cthulhu or Xenomorphs, but that's a different kind of approach to take. I think that's the crux of it. Like, you want to like sympathize or understand a human villain,
Totally.
or be something so unknowable that you're just like, well, what the hell? I
Yeah.
can't. It's an unstoppable force.
I mean, dude, Castlevania, Dracula,
Yeah,
right? Like
Yeah.
episode 1, no spoilers. Like
so good.
that motivation.
Oh my god.
Like
So
I can
good.
relate to. I can see that motivation. You know, if
Yeah.
that happened, it's
Yeah.
like okay.
So good.
Yeah.
Katie Garza says, I think viewer sympathy is what makes a really good movie villain. Maybe we don't empathize with them, but we can sympathize with them.
Yeah.
That makes an impact on viewers, I think.
Yeah.
At least I know it makes an impact on me. And without a doubt, there would be no Harry Potter without Lord Voldemort. That's true. Voldemort kind of made Harry Potter. Voldemort. Ken Reel says, a great villain, I always argue, is the hero of their own story. It's only the process in getting into their goal that we need to be against them. So, good, proper motivation, but bad methods, kind of a thing. Stephen Beaumont broke it down into 3 points. Purpose: the villain needs to have a goal that they don't deviate from that goal.
Wipe out half the universe.
Yep. Belief: the villain needs to believe in their cause, otherwise they're just Team Rocket or Power Rangers villain who just see themselves as evil. And gravitas or charm: the villain needs to have to own the screen, from Hans Gruber to Michael Myers or Hannibal Lecter. It can be a look, it can be a speech, but if they don't own the scenes that they are in, well, then they will be forgotten.
Every word Thanos speaks.
Yeah.
Gravitas.
Thanos is great.
Thanos commands your attention,
Yeah.
dude.
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah. I don't even know. It's so good. Shit.
Jason Wojnar.
You will.
Jason Wojnar. Either when they are so terrible you cannot wait to see them punished, like Joker or Mint from 2008's Rambo. I never saw that one. Or Roman Sionis from Birds of Prey, yeah. Or the opposite is equally as compelling. Tragic victims with whom the audience understands and empathizes with, but also agree they need to be taken care of. Roy Batty, for example.
Dracula.
Silent Constant says, a good villain is someone I love to hate. Think of Joffrey in Game of Thrones.
Yes, dude. One of the greats. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Joffrey.
Just so loathsome.
Dude, for real, one of the all-time greats. Absolutely is one of the many reasons that show was as big as it was. I feel like, you know, everyone hated Joffrey. Everyone just wanted Joffrey to go down.
Yeah.
You know?
I got it. Oh, man.
Brutal villain.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Don't watch Game of Thrones if you haven't, though. It does not end well. Varun Kachwaha says, I know it's a cop-out, but it matters on the film. Some films just need a cheesy villain with no emotional backstory, but some films need the ambiguity.
I wish we could bring the Night King, but terrible villain.
Yeah. Not even good, like...
No.
I was going to say botched the ending, but, like, not even throughout was he good.
Yeah.
He's just there.
Yeah.
Not even, like, and you can do, like, a force of nature villain that's good.
Yeah.
Like Anton Chigurh. Like, I mean, I think that Cormac McCarthy does that. Like, he writes everyone as archetypes, you know? So it's like everyone is just like No Country for Old Men, you know? Llewellyn Moss is humans, and Anton Chigurh is just evil personified, and Tommy Lee Jones's character, Ed Tom, I think, is, like, good, you know? And, I mean, Blood Meridian really goes for it with this kind of thing, but, yeah, I like that kind of stuff. It feels more like a fable which is good. Joseph Caruso, the best villains are those with complicated motivations, flawed individuals that are misunderstood or themselves misunderstand the world and try to do what they believe is the right thing regardless of their means. And then they mentioned, this is a long comment, so I'm just going to, but they mentioned Fontaine from BioShock, the family from Get Out, and the Zodiac Killer all as examples of just like freaky villains.
Oh my god, is Zodiac terrifying?
No, Zodiac is hardcore. Not a lot of houses have basements in Los Angeles. Well, mine does.
Yeah.
That actor, dude.
Yeah.
He
Presence.
he's what's amazing about that actor, I wish I could remember his name right now. He's in Fargo also, and he's in like American Horror Story and stuff. He either plays the nicest person you've ever seen, like this beautiful, gentle spirit,
Yeah.
or the most terrifying psycho ever. And like nothing in between.
That's wild. That's wild.
It's
I wonder
pretty
what that
great.
is.
Yeah, it's something about him. He looks lovable and terrifying all at once. Cold Smith says a good villain to me is someone who's understandable but just wrong, or someone or something that is entirely not understandable but equally compelling. Would You Kindly says, contradictory to my favorite villain, a good villain is not obviously evil. We understand their patterns and almost see their motives as justified. Morgan Mohala says, I appreciate the unstoppable force of nature that is Anton Chigurh. He's capable, dangerous, and unyielding. Good villains know what they are doing, and they do not waver. Tokyo Slim wrote like a dissertation here. Let's see. What makes a good villain? I appreciate it. Never stop. What makes a good villain? I think that there are two kinds of villains in fiction. The unstoppable and unknowable force of nature, like Jaws, Terminator, HAL 9000, Jason Voorhees, Sauron, etc. The real monsters whose reason for evil is that they just are, or they just are what they are. There's no real reason with them, or to prevent their actions, no way to prevent their actions, or to destroy or eradicate them. These are scary, that they're essentially a physical manifestation of death itself, a thing we can't control and that will come for all of us. The second type is, and Tokyo Slim's favorite is, ourselves. What I mean by that is when someone is relatable, like Magneto or Killmonger or even Joker. That essentially means that we can find empathy in their actions to a point.
1 hour photo.
Dude, 1 hour photo.
1 hour photo.
Ugh.
Disturbing.
Oh, excuse me. That movie I saw it when I was a kid, and like
Same.
I was so disturbed that I like purged it from my mind.
Same.
I just remember being like, Robin, no. Uncle Wee. Uncle Wee.
Freaky movie.
Yeah, 1 hour photo.
So freaky.
Zach Wojnar says, I like when the relationship between the hero and the villain is like that, between a person and their own reflection in a smashed mirror. Their favorite example of this is the sheriff from First Blood and Rambo.
Oh, excellent. Is that Dennehy? Brian Dennehy is the villain?
I don't know who plays that. That sounds right. That sounds like a name from that period of time.
Yeah. Tommy Boy.
All right. Then I asked, what movie would have been nothing without its antagonist? Die Hard. Obviously Alien. Obviously
2001.
2001. Obviously the Infinity Saga.
Obviously
Crisis.
The Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs. Here's a question. I have a question for you. Are you referring to Hannibal or to Buffalo Bill?
Buffalo Bill?
Yeah.
Shit.
Because Hannibal...
Dual villains.
Well, Hannibal's like...
He's a villain because he's playing everyone.
He's bad, but Clarice, our protagonist, he's like good.
But he's using it
to get his situation changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I love. But like he would never do. I don't think he would ever do anything to harm Clarice.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he would have cared if Clarice got killed by Buffalo Bill. I don't know.
He would have taken it so personally.
He would have been rude. He would have gone and killed. Yeah, it would have been rude.
Yeah.
He would have gone and killed Buffalo Bill probably.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember the Hannibal TV show?
Yes, we were just talking about
It
that.
was so good.
I would love just a one-off movie.
They
or
need to do
something.
just a movie.
Yeah.
Or do they? I don't know.
I don't know.
That end stinger from
Would it be-
season whatever.
If you
the
did
end.
it like 10 years from now, could you do some kind of time jump?
Oh my God, if you
Style?
just
Like
did it in
Mads
real time?
is really old.
Oh my
or
God.
Something? You bring in Clarice somehow. You just like do Silence of the Lambs or
that
something.
That show is so complex. Oh, and I mean we've said this before, even on this podcast, I think, but like probably the most unsettled I've ever been.
Yep.
By something, because they shoot violence like food, and
Yeah.
it's disgusting.
It is very disgusting.
Which I guess I'm happy I'm disgusted by that.
It's gross.
There were some moments of that show where I was just like, also like, how are you allowed to show this on NBC?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
Anyway,
ahead of its time.
movies that would have been nothing without its antagonist. Project DAD says Star Wars. Who would watch Luke be a moisture farmer all of his life? Although Netflix or HBO might be able to make a surprisingly good show out of that. Maybe call it Moisture or Sand. I don't like sand. Varun Kuchwaha says, has to be No Country for Old Men. That film needs Shigur. He's what everyone remembers when they think of that film. He's driving the plot, and he's the tension that ties the narrative together. Without his incredible presence permeating the film, it would have been a bit boring. Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, probably right.
There's only one villain I have yet to hear. I'm surprised we haven't heard it yet. We'll see.
Well, some new ones are mentioned here, so
Okay.
let's see. Colt Smith says Predator. Would You Kindly? Alien, Silence of the Lambs, Empire Strikes Back, Schindler's List, Terminator 1 and 2, Godfather, Scarface, and Tilly says Black Panther. This was
God,
the one I was
Killmonger.
thinking of mostly because
Yes.
Killmonger, yeah. Well, at the start of the film,
Yes.
T'Challa was somewhat milquetoast. It actually took Killmonger's campaign, which was coming from the right place but going about it in the wrong way, to give our hero the arc for the film and to lead the global reveal of Wakanda. That was my favorite part about Black Panther, where I was like, Killmonger's not wrong though. Like, he's being a crazy jerk about this and going about it the wrong way, but like, definitely I was like, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
though.
He just needed a little bit of course correction.
Yeah.
And
Well, and even T'Challa
yeah.
agrees.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
I wish that they would have. The one misstep I think from Black Panther is I wish T'Challa, like, literally said. Maybe it's implied in the end. I don't know, but I wish he actually said like, "You're right."
By him revealing to the world, that is saying
that. I guess
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, I guess you're right. But I wish he said it to Killmonger.
For sure. They get their moment.
They get their moment.
They get their little
Whatever.
moment. Hell of a movie. God,
Hell of a
Black
movie,
Panther.
dude. Hell of a movie. Also in
so
Infinity
good.
War, when Chris Evans goes, "I know some people," and
Yeah.
then the frickin' drums come in. Everyone in my theater was
I
like,
know.
"Yeah!"
I know. It's so what a time.
I know. Alexander Zirnov says, "I know one movie trilogy that would have been nothing without its antagonist, The Lord of the Rings. Avengers would be worse without Thanos, but there's still stories to tell and battles to fight. It's hard to imagine The Silence of the Lambs without Hannibal Lecter, but there are other ways to catch a killer. But without Sauron, there would be no journey, no fellowship, no Nazguls, no corrupted Saruman. Basically, no evil in the film's version of Middle-earth. I guess in the books it's not as definitive." Silent Consonant says, "I feel like The Dark Knight would be nothing without its antagonist. When I think of why I love Dark Knight, it's because of Heath Ledger." Absolutely.
I mean, Batman Begins is phenomenal, and it doesn't have Heath Ledger. I think Dark Knight would still be a good
Dark
movie.
Knight's better, though.
Of course. Yeah, sure.
And largely because of Heath Ledger.
It is legendary
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of.
Like,
but to write
it's
it
the
off,
best one because
For
of
sure.
Heath Ledger.
for sure.
Yeah. And I don't even think that's a posthumous like thing because like
No.
he died. I think it would have lived on with that much fame were he still here, and I wish he were.
I agree.
Heath Ledger and Anton Yelchin, I'm like sad still.
It hurts
About
every
both
time.
of
And
us.
Paul Walker hurts every time.
Zach Wojnar, my two favorite Star Trek movies. Wrath of Khan is a revenge tale. Jim Kirk's mistake catches up to him while he's on the cusp of a midlife crisis. Khan represents everything he had to spend his whole life avoiding while he was boldly going where no one had gone before, and Khan's vengeance is a proverbial chickens coming home to roost. And in Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, Kirk must learn to see Klingons as real people, but not an enemy to be destroyed or outwitted. Meanwhile, General Chang, Christopher Plummer, must do the same thing, but he doesn't. Okay, now here's what I wanted to
Yo,
ask you
shout
about.
out to Mama Dread.
Oh, dude!
Come on now.
Mama!
Come on now.
Yeah, dude.
Yo, shout out to Daniel Plainview. There will be blood.
I mentioned Daniel Plainview in the prompt initially.
Got it. Okay.
So that's probably why he didn't come up as much.
Okay.
Because I said, like, from Jason Voorhees to Daniel Plainview, villains are blah, blah, blah. Love a good movie where the main character is the villain.
Yeah,
Even and without even, like, spelling it out.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Good stuff.
like Joker.
Like, Jeff.
Like Joker.
Go sit down in the Joker chair. You said the naughty word. Who would win in a fight between every movie bad guy you can think of?
Thanos. Sorry, everyone.
With the Infinity Gauntlet?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's cheating.
Even
He
without
just has infinite magic.
even without all of the stones, he's taken on everyone.
He straight up just beats Hulk.
Yeah.
That's never really explained. I guess he's just from a strong race.
Yeah.
Hulk's
Well,
just a big, strong boy.
Eternals, I think.
When he has the Power Stone at that point, doesn't he? I don't know.
I feel like there's a good opportunity and chance to get some Thanos origins and stuff in the Eternals, which is after Black Widow. So be on the lookout.
Why are they doing weird prequels?
Well, because
dude?
Eternals is going to be like thousands of years.
Oh.
The whole movie spans.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, that's all I know about it. No spoilers. That's all I know.
Dude,
It's very long.
I'm hyped for Eternals,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
It's just one movie?
Yep.
Frick.
For now, yeah.
Frick. When does Black Widow come out?
May, if it doesn't get delayed, like all these other movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who do I think would win?
It's gonna be hard to beat Thanos.
I mean, it's got to be. That's the problem. Is like if you're doing all movie bad guys against all other movie bad guys, it's got to be someone with just like godlike powers.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Like
Cthulhu Lighthouse.
yeah, Cthulhu. Just like the world. What's
or
the
like
even,
the witch, dude, Black Bill or whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean
What
the
is it?
devil.
Yeah.
Like. Or Azathoth, I think, is the one from. I don't think Azathoth is in any movies though. But that's the Arkham Horror villain, where in like some of the board games, it's just like if it wakes up, you lose.
Okay.
It just destroys the
Yeah.
universe. It's just like
blinks,
whoopsies,
you're
yeah.
all- blinks you out of
Just
existence.
Everybody's gone. Although apparently Cthulhu, if he woke up, we'd all die because we're just Cthulhu's dream or some weird. Whatever.
That's scary.
Chim.
Chim.
If
yeah.
Chim woke up.
Chim.
Uh oh.
Some say Cosm.
Yeah. Q from Star Trek. He could do some ruckus if he wanted to. He's not really a bad guy though.
Removing Thanos,
Yeah.
making it a little more fair and humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
T-1000 is a very strong choice.
Yeah.
Pretty
2000
hard to
would
take
would
down.
beat the Xenomorphs.
Yep, it's taken down Hans Gruber. It's
would-
taken down a lot. I mean, how does Anton Chigurh
He's just a man.
manage a T-1000, you know?
Right. He just shoots it with a shotgun probably.
'Cause he's a good killer.
just
He
comes
knows
back.
how to kill.
Yeah. T-1000 would just like, yeah.
It's tough.
It depends on if Anton Chigurh is actually a human being or not. But that's the thing where it's like narratively, like if you're coming out of a parable where like if you're just representative of capital E evil,
Yeah.
then you'll win. But that's the same as like being, Black Phillip or whatever.
Yeah.
All Black Phillip wants you to do is live live deliciously.
Yeah.
That's all he wants. That's all I ask of you.
Yeah.
Anyway, Project DAD, Heath Ledger's Joker. He has an odd way of looking into people's souls. Colt Smith.
Ledger's Joker would come up with a way to take out the T-1000.
He'd liquid nitrogen, and he'd just trap him in a box. Or
He
something.
would annoy the shit out of Thanos.
And make him snap him.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. Well, that'd be good. That'd be a fun conversation to see.
Joker v Thanos.
That'd be a really fun conversation.
Joker might take him just by being like so weird.
Yeah.
Though Loki is the
Sure.
Joker of
even like Tony Stark has
Avengers,
that
and
like
it-
Joker snark.
yeah.
Oh, it's fun to think about.
Loki, dude. I like Loki.
Hell yeah.
Colt Smith says Sauron probably at full power. He's basically all powerful and can't die unless you know to destroy the ring. True.
But if
Space
he has
Down.
the ring, then you have to give Thanos the stones.
Yeah.
Stones beat the ring, dude.
Yeah. They definitely do. That ring, all it does is like make you invisible.
Yeah.
I'm unclear on what is so great about that ring. Actually,
He like draws all of the power.
it's
from
like
everyone.
a trick. He
Yeah.
Space Dom says, "I'll tell you one villain fight I'd like you to settle: It from Stephen King's It versus It from It Follows." I haven't
fight.
seen
Good
It
fight.
Follows. So
Really
this
good.
Is, this is a you.
Dang, even
Who wins
Pennywise.
Pennywise is
Pennywise is really hard to stop.
Yeah.
And yeah, Pennywise wins because Pennywise is sadistic.
Yeah.
So sadistic.
Yeah.
Wants to win, wants to kill, has
And
that.
has fun doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it to Pennywise. Creep.
Would you kindly says any depiction of Satan, you can delay evil, but you can't kill it.
What is
Tokyo
it? End of
Slim-
Days.
Oh yeah.
End of Days.
God, what a movie. Tokyo Slim says probably Galactus or Thanos.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. If we're being
Nobody
real.
overpowers their characters like comic books. That's true.
Yep.
And Tilly says Terminators, they have a pretty poor KDA, but it's been shown that no matter what happens, the future will always end up making more Terminators, so sooner or later, they'll just get lucky.
True, dude. I mean, how did Thanos get beat? Time travel. Who
Yeah.
fucking time travels the most? These damn Terminators.
Terminators, dude.
Terminators
They're
win it
horrible at
all.
it. They're horrible at it.
Yeah.
But this might be a good point.
The
On a long enough
Terminators.
timeline, the Terminators are going to wreck everything.
Yes.
Stephen Beaumont, who would win in a bad guy fight? Unicron from Transformers the movie, obviously, or Gold Frieza? Zach Wojnar says Darth Vader, baby. Maybe the Predator, but probably Vader.
Gold Frieza. Dude, Gold Frieza probably beats Thanos easily. Honestly,
I don't know anything about Gold Frieza.
If you start bringing Dragon Ball into this equation or Superman style,
they're like unstoppable.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty impossible to beat anyone in Dragon Ball.
Silent Consonant says King Ghidorah would win. The funny thing with all of these, though, is like the villains always lose.
Yeah,
So it's like we know how to beat all of these guys.
yeah, we know
Pretty
their
crazy.
weaknesses.
Yeah. Although Thanos' weakness and undoing everything was pretty complex.
Yeah.
Pretty complex. Which villains do you find yourself kind of agreeing with? Project Dad says Thanos. What were you going to say?
Yeah, Thanos. I mean, Thanos has a point. I know everyone always makes fun of it, like make more food, blah, 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 and it's like,
I mean, yeah.
if you went through like hit the backstory, I know it's really fast and expository, but like that context is really important for his motivation
Yeah,
of like he lived through this and saw it.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I think it's totally logical and
Yeah.
a great villain motivation.
Like, it isn't something I would ever do, obviously, but yeah, you can see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And that's important. Noah says Magneto was right.
He was right.
Colt Smith, the villain in Equilibrium, just wants to maintain the status quo, even though the status quo is bad, but you can understand where he's coming from.
Yo, let's rewatch Equilibrium, dude.
Commentary track on Equilibrium, dude?
Yes.
That would actually be pretty fun. That movie is probably horrible. Like, I loved it as a kid, but it's probably not good. It's probably not good.
It
It's
really all
probably not
depends on the choreography. If the choreography holds up, I
The
feel
gun
like.
kata?
Yeah. Like if that is still solid today, the movie has merit.
It's
Like,
possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
Morgan Mahala says Killmonger, yeah. Antilles says Killmonger. Oh, and Kylo Ren. Also Joker. You could just like understand where they're coming from, kind of.
Yep.
Jason Wojnar says Colonel Kurtz, yeah. Hate what they do, but you know why.
HAL 9000.
HAL 9000, sure.
I'm scared, Dave.
Just doesn't want to die.
I'm scared.
It's more relatable than that.
So intense.
Uh,
Please, Dave. I'm scared. It's
really good.
good.
I love HAL 9000.
It's a damn computer, and
Yeah.
it's like got feelings.
Yeah. one of them feeling computers.
You're hurting it.
Silent Constant says the villains I usually find myself agreeing with are those that are often portrayed as the villain, but a small reveal changes your perspective. Or something like Jurassic Park, where it's easy to put T-Rex in the villain position for the majority of the movie, but at the end, he's the hero. And upon further reflection, the humans are probably the villains in that movie to a
Yeah.
certain extent.
BD Wong.
Well, BD Wong only turned evil in World.
BD Wong.
That's like a shoehorn to beat the band, man. That one is irritating to me. Zach Wojnar, probably Jason Voorhees, because who doesn't want to kill some annoying teenagers every once in a while?
Yes.
Also, shout out to Zach Wojnar, interviewed Kirsty Wilson Cairns, the co-writer of 1917, and she talked about how the antagonist of that film is war itself. She said on an interview in Screen Rant, they didn't hate the people they were fighting. They all just wanted to go home. They wanted to go back to their life. They wanted it all to be done. The antagonist of the whole piece is war itself, not the enemy. Maybe that. The evil that exists in all man's hearts.
It's going to sting for a while. Like, I really wish everyone on Earth saw that movie in the theater.
I liked that movie.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. All right. Final thing before the quote challenge.
Pacific Rim. Kaiju.
That was the one you wanted to...
No, the...
King Ghidorah. Kaiju came up.
The, Aliens, though, the like making the portal,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Not a lot known about
What are
them.
they called in that movie?
I even forget the
I can't
name.
remember. Jaegers and
Kaiju.
are they called that?
Yeah.
Oh. They just used the Japanese term?
Mhm.
Huh. All right. All right. Do you have a Friday the 13th tradition, Huber?
If it is of October, no matter what I watch, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
But-
So that's not every year.
Nope. Doesn't happen very often.
Special.
Yeah, no, really. Not.
Well, our viewers have some. I don't really have one either. Our viewers have some. Project DAD plays the lottery. Cold Smith. I always try to watch a scary movie, just like I do for all 31 days of October. It used to always be a Friday the 13th movie, but I've seen them all so many times I had to branch out. Caesar Villa says, saying that this time I will play the Friday the 13th NES cartridge I bought 5 years ago and then never doing it. Respect that. Would you kindly pick a villain actor like Christopher Walken, Javier Bardem, Rafe Fiennes, and watch a couple of their films? Antilles, okay, this part I thought you would like. Antilles, Friday the 13th tradition, nothing. But I will take this opportunity to share my rankings of the Friday the 13th films, which they know you will take umbrage with.
Okay.
Okay, starting with from worst to best.
Okay.
12, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday from 1993.
Great.
11th is Friday the 13th Part 3 from 82. Already off to a bad start.
Somebody, the person who recommended Patriot, we were talking about Friday the 13th, and they also had an issue with 3. And
What's wrong with 3? I don't remember 3.
3 is where he gets the hockey mask.
Right, because it's not actually Jason until 2.
Yeah, and he's like 3 is such a good example of like the quintessential Jason with a hockey mask before he becomes a mutant.
Yeah.
3 is amazing. I don't know why 3 gets so much hate. It's one of the best.
Well, it's 11th on
Dang.
Antilles' list.
Dang.
10th, Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, 86.
That's my number 1.
That's your number 1?
Yep.
That noise you're hearing, audio listeners, is Huber throwing wooden coasters.
My number 1 is 6. My number 2 is 3.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
If Manhattan is in the top 3, discredited.
Okay. Well, number 9 is Friday the 13th, Part 5, 6, 7. It was Roman numerals. The New Blood is from 88.
Love that one. Telekinetic powers.
He has telekinetic powers?
One
Or
of the
heroes?
girls, yeah.
Oh, okay. 8 is Jason Takes Manhattan from 89.
All right.
That's Part 8, I guess. 7 is Freddy v. Jason
Nice.
from 2003. 6, Friday the 13th, A New Beginning from 85.
Die.
5 is Jason X from 2001. That seems high.
It does. I need to go back and watch it. I haven't seen it in a long time, and it's one of those ones that people have warmed up to over the years.
Okay,
I keep seeing it pop up.
Is that the space one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has one of the best kills of all time, the nitroglycerin.
4th is Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter from 84. Wow, they really sold themselves short on this series. 4 years after the original, they were like, yeah, we're done. 3rd, they rank Friday the 13th from 2009.
Okay.
He
the
furrows his brow.
Okay. The first 20 minutes are legendary. Didn't hate it, but very highly ranked. Very surprising.
highly
Okay.
They said you'd take umbrage. 2, second highest is Friday the 13th, Part 2 from
Part
81.
2. So 1 and 2.
And Friday the 13th
Great.
from 1980 is number 1.
1 and 2. Nice.
Yeah.
1 and 2 together is really nice. It's
Yeah.
like one.
Yeah.
Kinda,
It's a very direct
Yeah,
continuation. Yeah.
for sure. Dang, I really, really like 3.
It's their second least favorite.
I know. I'm very surprised. Maybe on the next one they can say why they dislike it so
Yeah,
much.
right-
I need
right
a
back
reason.
in, Antilles.
Yeah, I need a very specific reason why 3 is not good.
Yeah.
So I love it. Because 6, he's full on back from the dead. He's like a monster.
Yeah.
And then, but 3, he's still like such a humanoid.
Humanoid. Love a good
Yeah.
humanoid.
Yeah, he's just very human.
Love a good humanoid. Silent Constant says Friday the 13th, just another day. All right. Last thing. Tokyo Slim's patented quote challenge.
Nice.
Okay, so last month, I got 2 with Sorry to Bother You's white voice quote and guessing Melancholia for The Earth is Evil, We Don't Need to Grieve for It. So I did okay. What we
Nice.
missed, You know, hope is a mistake. If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane. Now that I see the answer, I kicking myself for not knowing this.
Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope.
Let me see if I can remember how he says it, and maybe you'll know. You know, hope is a mistake. If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
Inception.
Then he goes, he's in that movie. Later he goes, Max, my name's Max.
I forget.
Mad Max Fury Road, baby.
Oh, shit. Dang it.
You know how to get rid of crabs? You gotta shave one testicle and all the crabs go to the other one.
This one, I was so mad.
You gotta light the hair on
Yeah.
fire on that one, and
This-
then they go scurrying out, and you take an ice pick and you fucking stab every single last one of them. Apparently that's from The Master.
The Master, because
I've
I
seen The
just
Master.
rewatched
Yeah.
it like less than 6 months ago. Yes,
quote.
Joaquin says that.
And then this one, as soon as I saw what it's from, I kicked myself too. It's not what you did, son, that angers me so. It's who you did it to. Chapter 1. Chapter 1. It's from Chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
Not called Chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
2 is called Chapter 2. 3 is called Parabellum.
Oh, John Wick.
John Wick. All right.
Chapter 2. 10 out of 10.
All right, and then for this month, here they go. This one is so familiar to me. You ever kill somebody? I hurt someone's feelings once. Sounds so familiar.
Killing them softly?
Is it from that movie?
I don't know.
I've never
Maybe?
seen that. I never saw that. Oh, this one's gonna. You ever kill somebody? I hurt someone's feelings once. Ugh. It feels like aliensy, but it's not. I feel like Tim Robbins might be involved, but I don't know. What about the guy? What about the guy you lobotomized? Did he get a refund? What about the guy you lobotomized? Did he get a refund? That sounds so familiar
God.
too. Damn it, Tokyo Slim.
No, these are so good because they're right
They're
there.
right there, yeah. Oh, what is this from?
Is it like Gattaca or something? Or
What about the guy you lobotomized?
Like
Did
not-
he get a refund?
like
I think
one,
it's like
one flew
somebody-
over the cuckoo's nest?
No, I think it's like not a legitimate. I think it's like somebody shot somebody's head off or something. I think it's a guy talking to or a woman talking to a guy.
Like Pulp Fiction?
What about the guy you lobotomized? Did he get a refund? Piss. I don't remember.
Yeah, piss.
We're doing poorly
I
this
know.
time. 3. It is not our abilities that show us what we truly are. It is our choices. That feels like X-Men. to
Feels
me.
like freaking James McAvoy.
yeah,
Straight up.
Yeah. Really give us credit for that. Do we
Charles
have to
Xavier.
nail it
Charles
down?
Xavier, damn it.
It's probably first class,
It
but
sounds like Charles Xavier.
it could
We
be
don't
Mystique
want
in one of the later ones. But the truth is a matter of circumstances. It's not all things to all people all the time. Oh, that sounds familiar too. The truth is a matter of circumstances. It's not all things to all people all the time. A Few Good Men or something. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Captain America Civil War. Who the
God,
hell
we're
knows?
striking out this
I
time. Usually
know.
we get like 2 of these. All right, last one. Behind the stubble and the too prominent brow and the male pattern baldness, I sensed your feminine longing, and it slew me.
Couldn't even
No, this
guess.
sounds familiar to me.
The Mask.
Behind the stubble and the too prominent brow and the male pattern baldness, I sensed your feminine longing, and it slew me. Gah. Tokyo, you win this time. We don't
Yeah.
know any of these.
Can't even guess.
Oh, we failed. Well, anyway, that'll do it. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I know that this was one where we kind of just like read through all the comments, but
It's
I
always
thought they
fun.
were all pretty good comments. so,
Yeah.
hopefully that
Shout
was
out.
enjoyable. Shout out to Althanis, Greg, the Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb, Togi Crawford, Will Schmuck, and Mr. One Luigi. That is a tier on our Patreon, patreon.com/easyallies. I do believe there might be a slot or 2 open if you're interested in getting in on that. It's expensive, but it helps us out a lot, especially as we're in this weird period where we're still getting started with the Roost stuff. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but everything's going okay. Don't worry. Everything's fine. Yeah.
That's
well,
what Thanos said.
thank you, Mikey Hubies. When did he say that? He never said that.
There's been so many words, you know?
Yeah.
When he was like taking young Gamora.
Oh God.
Don't look, child.
Ugh,
Creep.
what a creep.
I love to hate him.
Yeah.
I love to hate Thanos. Who's your number one?
My number one villain of all time?
Yeah. I want to say the Queen Alien specifically
For you or for me?
for me.
Yeah. Queen Alien's really good. Ripley's one of my favorite protagonists of all time.
Easily.
The first ones that come to mind are, probably Anton Chigurh, Daniel Plainview,
Gruber.
Hans Gruber, certainly. I like Simon from
With
Vengeance.
For sure. The
Um,
Grubers.
The Grubers, yeah. Your villain's Gruber. I don't know. There are a lot of really good villains. I mean, Joker is really great. Heath Ledger's Joker and show and comic book Joker.
And Jack Nicholson's Joker. That's a
Jack
good one.
Nicholson's Joker. Where does he get those marvelous toys? Marvelous,
Yo.
wonderful?
Shout the hell out. Matt Damon in The Departed, dude. Come on.
Is he the bad guy in that?
Exactly. So good, dude. Undercover, like, double crossing. He's their rat. He's
Mark Wahlberg's good, though, right?
Mark Wahlberg's good.
And Leo's just trying his damnedest?
And Leo, it's like Leo is a good guy undercover with the bad guys, and Matt Damon is a bad guy undercover with the good guys.
Right.
Dude, Matt Damon in that movie is incredible. Shout
Spoilers for The Departed.
out. Underappreciated.
What a movie. I think it was appreciated, the appropriate amount. Maybe even overappreciated. He should have won an Oscar for various other films over that.
Departed is one of the greats. That is a hill.
Scorsese himself has better movies.
Dude, that is the one that I will fight always for is Departed. It's one of my favorites ever, man.
The rat crawling along the
I
railing at the
know,
end
I
is really
know.
stupid, though.
Just turn
Let's
your,
agree
turn
with
your
that.
TV off.
Can you
Turn your
agree with
TV
that
off.
at
yes,
least?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Turn
All
your
right.
TV off
All right.
before that part happens.
All right, okay,
The
okay,
camera's
okay.
spanning over. Off.
Off.
Yeah.
Throw the disc out the window. All right. Then we can agree. Departed's great. All right. Well, whatever. We'll be back next month with some cool stuff, probably. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Again, we'll try to get this done earlier with all the rescheduling and stuff that we had to do. Things just got too crazy this month. So I apologize for the early tier that didn't get it early this time. I really try to prevent that from happening. But next time we'll try to get it done sooner for you. All right. Thank you very much. Thanks, Huber. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Love and respect.